station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Fox.
The Baltimore Orioles' winning formula in 2011 should be familiar to Rays fans. Great starting pitching, timely hitting, and spectacular defense. Today, Joe Madden's Rays send right-hander Wade Davis to the hill, hoping to get win number 1 of the season. Rays baseball starts now on Sun Sports. Welcome to Tropicana Field as opening weekend continues for the 2011 Major League season. Welcome to a Sunday afternoon of baseball. It's a family fun day here at the Trop as the Tampa Bay Rays play host to the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. It's great to have you looking in. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis throughout the day as well. The Rays are looking for runs. They've scored only 2 in the first 2 games. The Orioles have scored 7. That's been good enough for 2 Baltimore wins. And in the middle of all of their offense is Brian Roberts.
Well, Brian Roberts is entrenched at the top of that Baltimore lineup, and he's the guy that's usually getting things started. Well, so far in the first 2 games of this season, he has been the finisher. Game 1, David Price, a hanging breaking ball. He blows a 1-0 game open with a 2-run triple in the 5th inning. And then last night comes up big again in a pitcher's duel, a scoreless game. In the 8th, he gets a fastball out over the plate, hits a 3-run home, supplies the runs that the Orioles needed to win last night's game. There are a lot of different hitters in this Oriole lineup for Ray pitching to be worried about, concerned about, and go to attack. But it starts at the very top with Brian Roberts, and they got to find a way to control him.
Yeah, and having said that, the Rays starters have been very good. You can't quarrel with what David Price did opening night. James Shields was just outstanding last night. And this afternoon, Wade Davis, who finished last year very strong, goes to the mound for the Rays today.
Wade Davis, the first 16 starts last year, he's sitting on a 5-9 record with an ERA approaching 5. What he decides to do at that point, take those 4 quality pitches that he has and get aggressive with them in the strike zone. He was able to cut his walk total down dramatically, started attacking the strike zone, putting himself in good counts, and it was reflected in those results. You see how he finished the last 13, 7-1 with an ERA barely over 3.
And if you like to see good young arms, this is the pitching matchup you want to see. Wade Davis, 12-10 a year ago for the Rays, and Zach Britton will make his major league debut for Baltimore. He's a left-hander, the Orioles' top pitching prospect, on display here at Tropicana Field this afternoon. The series finale, the Rays try to avoid the sweep, find the winning side of the ledger. This improved Baltimore Orioles ball club. We'll have it all, plus Todd Callis, in just a moment.
Tropicana Field as the Rays and the Orioles wrap up this 3-game weekend series, kicking off the 2011 season. For the game, kids able to go out on the field and play a little catch. One youngster wearing that giveaway item, that 2010 American League East replica banner. As we welcome you back to Tropicana Field, get ready for a little Sunday afternoon baseball. Now, for the Tampa Bay Rays, that was Larry King, by the way, who's right in front of our shot there. Appreciate it. He threw out the first pitch here at Tropicana Field. What's going on, Zoe? Ben Zobrist is here on a Sunday, and he's one of the guys that talks about if they weren't a baseball player, what would they be?
I love hockey. I wish I could be a professional hockey player. Outside of that, I would probably be a chef.
I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't playing baseball, so I don't know.
Besides baseball, I think I would try to be a singer.
I would probably like to be doing something in the ministry, serving Christ with charity or church or something like that.
Oh, it's a good thought on a Sunday afternoon as we are ready for baseball. It is the Rays and the Orioles in high definition. We will have the lineups and the first pitch. Dwayne Stads and Brian Anderson right around the corner on a Kids Sunday.
Afternoon is brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward, Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and by AT&T. It truly is a tropical atmosphere here on Family Fun Day. The Rays and the Orioles wrapping up this 3-game series. Rays have dropped the first 2 games. And Evan Longoria goes to the disabled list with that sore left oblique, just placed on the DL a few moments before game time. And Felipe Lopez, who spent the spring with the Rays competing for an infield spot, has been added to the roster. He'll wear number 45 and will be here and available if Joe Madden would need him in the game. So Longoria on the DL, and that oblique could be something that takes every bit of that 15-day and maybe a little more, because you want to be very careful with an injury like that. Meeting at home plate has broken up, and we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles under the direction of Buck Showalter. Brian Roberts, who's been the key bat in this series so far for the Orioles, leads off, and Nick Markakis hits second ahead of Derek Lee. Vladimir Guerrero is the DH. Matt Wieters, the catcher, hits fifth in front of the center fielder Adam Jones. Mark Reynolds at third, Felix Piez at left, and J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, will bat ninth. Buck Showalter. And Wade Davis goes to the mound.
Wade decided to show up this afternoon. He will be making the start for the Rays, looking to pick up right where he left off last season. Really put together a winning formula the last couple of months last year, pounding the strike zone. You see the overall season numbers. He finished very strong, 7-1, the 3.22 in his last 13 starts last year, and has had a lot of success against this Baltimore Oriole franchise in his couple of years in the big leagues. 5 starts. He's got a 3-1 record, 2.29 against the Orioles, including a shutout back in September of 2009. Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up this afternoon. Left to right in the outfield, Sam Fold getting his first start in the outfield. B.J. Upton and Matt Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Sean Rodriguez, Elliot Johnson, Ben Zobrist, and Dan Johnson. Kelly Shoppick catching.
Let's a look at Fold in left field, a Stanford graduate. One thing's for sure, he has increased the IQ level of this ball club, and most all of us here in the Trop.
Rumor has it that Joe Madden kept him on the team. He made the ball club so he could keep the team's GPA above the 2.0 level.
And that's important.
Eligibility.
Yeah. Well, there's Sean Rodriguez. You know, this sometimes all a guy needs is an opportunity, and out of adversity comes opportunity. And Sean Rodriguez really wants an opportunity to see more right-handed pitching. Well, he might get it. So it could be perhaps long-term. It could be something good as the Rays look at it that way.
And get to show that versatility down at third base, too. He's a guy, another good athlete that you could put on one of those corner positions, has soft hands. You're right, Dwayne. He'll get the opportunities in the batter's box also.
Well, here's Brian Roberts and Wade Davis set to go to work, and first pitch is in there for a strike. Been a good series for Roberts, who jumps on another pitch and fouls it back. 0-2. Roberts had 2 hits last night, including the big home run in the 8th inning. It's a 1-2 count. And a liner into right. That's in there, one hop in front of Joyce. So Roberts is aboard to start this one. He really is becoming a nemesis.
He really is. I mean, 2 strikes here. Does a nice job of shortening up. Gets a breaking ball. Just goes right down and gets it. That ball breaking down and in. Lines it out into right field. Brian Roberts continues to be the catalyst for this Rays offense.
Now Nick Markakis. The fastball is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Markakis made that great catch last night. Kevin Gregg officially got the save, but Markakis, he should be eligible for a save with a catch like that. Pitch away. 2-2. There's Evan Longoria, officially on the DL. And the pitch is in there, a strike, a fastball that hits 90, and that's the first fastball that is registered at 90. There Everything else had been sub 90 so far in the first few pitches of this game.
And you don't expect that from Wade Davis. He does have a big fastball, consistently getting in that 92, 94 range.
Over to first.
You know, sometimes the first start of the season, guys go one of two ways. They're either over-amped and they come out there overthrown and they're showing you good velocity but no command. Other guys want to go out there, try to stay within themselves, make sure they make their pitches, you know, work ahead in the count, and, you know, not quite into the flow of the game yet, so the velocity isn't there. I think that's where you're seeing Wade Davis right now, a little bit too careful with command.
It's been popped the other way. Foul ball, and Fold over the bullpen mound, stumbles and hangs on to it. Now a tag, and Roberts tries to advance, and he moves in. We'll see. Fold is okay. He's up and fine and left. That's quite a grab by Fold out there in front of the bullpen mound. He lost his footing and managed to hang on to that foul ball.
How about that? First start in left field this season. Right here, stumbling, but look at that. Keeps his head right on the ball. You see right there, eyes never leave the baseball. He's still stumbling, watches it right into the glove, and then actually gets rid of this ball as quick as he can to try to keep Brian Roberts from moving up. But Brian Roberts is a good base runner, and he's able to get into second base, but tremendous effort there by Sam Fold.
Well, Fold coming over from the Chicago Cubs in the Guards deal. And he played a lot of center field at the AAA level in the Cubs system, and then got to the big leagues with the Cubs over the last couple of years and spread around in the outfield. He made a nice play, covered a lot of ground and left right there.
Yeah, so often you stumble like that, your instinct is to start to look down, you know, take your eyes and take him off the baseball. He kept him right on there. That's why he's able to make that play.
Lee fouls the 1-0 pitch back, and it's 1-1. So Roberts alertly moved up. He's in scoring position now following the leadoff single, and a move up on the foul ball caught by Fold. One to count. Lee in the number 3 spot for Baltimore. Two and one. Just a bit wide right there.
Boy, that was a good looking pitch there by Wade Davis. Goes with the slider after coming up and in on Derek Lee, and that was awfully close.
Three-one the count. A check of the runner. Big cut by Lee, and the fastball is fouled away. Runs the count full. Derek Lee, a signee over the winter after dividing his time last year in the National League between the Cubs and the Braves. Full count. Oh, he just missed in this time. Fastball, and that one had about as much velocity as we've seen, and that's a little more in the neighborhood in which Wade Davis lives. That fastball in off the plate for ball 4 and at 94.
Yeah, well, he tried to put him away, put a little bit of extra juice on it. That's a tough pitch to make right there. Not a whole lot of margin for error. That full count, you really haven't established the strike zone yet, so you're not sure, even if that pitch is closer, are you going to be able to get the call? It was a gutsy pitch there that Wade Davis missed.
Now the pitch to Guerrero. Opening fastball, and that's a strike.
Well, what I do like, though, early part of this ball game is Wade Davis establishing the inner part of the plate. That will bode well for him as this game moves along, being able to keep guys on their heels, get them reaching for balls that he goes with to the outside corner.
Guerrero leaning away from the pitch. Coming into play today, the Rays and the Red Sox, each 0-2, still looking for that first win. The Orioles, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays off to a 2-0 start. Yankees home against the Tigers today. 1-2. Big cut in the middle of the slider.
And that's what that fastball in does. This is a guy who's got some of the best plate coverage in all of baseball. You come in with two fastballs, you stand him up, and then that good slider, he just runs out of bat, takes the swing. Wade takes the pitch off the plate, and he can't reach it. Be able to do that with a lot of these Oriole hitters.
The fastball darting in and fouled away, holding the count. And a ball, 2 strikes. Tigers hitting at the top of the third, and that game's tied 2-2. Cabrera, a 2-run homer for the Tigers. Posada, a 2-run homer for the Yankees. And a cut and miss, and there's a nice slider. Boy, we're starting to see some good sliders out of Davis here.
Yeah, it's funny how the stuff picks up when guys, runners on base, runners in scoring position. This was a great sequence to Vladimir Guerrero, working him hard inside with the fastball, and then a couple of awesome sliders down and away. Both of them really in the same spot and getting the same swing. Tremendous sequence to a very, very tough hitter, picking up that strikeout.
Here's Matt Wieters. Starts him away. Ball, no strikes.
Yeah, it's funny how when you get guys out on base, a runner in scoring position, how that'll snap you to attention real quick. And all of a sudden, that stuff gets sharp.
Nothing doing back there at second, and Davis wants to make sure it stays that way.
Been seeing an awful lot of that here in the early going. These first couple of games, pitchers very active in keeping their eyes on base runners.
Strike at the knees, 1-1. I think we'll see that out of the Rays a lot this year, because they're going to concentrate on the intricacies of the game, I think, this year more than ever. And they'll do it on both sides of the baseball.
Well, we've already seen what the Rays do offensively as far as taking extra bases, aggressive, stealing, first to third, running out of the box hard, looking to go for 2. And I think, with the performance-enhancing drug issue going by the wayside, the game has moved away from 45 home runs at the All-Star break to, more of a small ball. Teams are starting to look for athletes out there, putting guys in motion. The Rays recognize that. That's part of their game plan. So now, defensively, you got to have find a way to combat that. That's going to be with different pickoff plays and the pitchers really keeping an eye on the base runners.
A little looper into left. Here comes Fold. Will he get there? It's going to drop in front of him. With 2 outs, Roberts was running. He will score. And it's 1-0. And that ball drops into left field. Lee stops at second. An RBI base hit looped the other way off the bat of Matt Wieters.
Boy, that's frustrating for a pitcher. When you make a quality pitch, you get bad contact. His ball, he missed his location, but Wieters just pops this up into shallow left field, keeps it close to the line, and it's just too far for Sam Fuld to be able to get there, and Brian Roberts is able to come home and score the Orioles' first run. But boy, does that really eat at a pitcher when you get a little pop-up like that falls in no man's land, especially when it gets a run.
Well, Roberts, who had the big triple opening night, the big home run last night, scores the first run of the game this afternoon. 2 men on, 2 outs. Adam Jones sends a fly ball toward the right field line. Joyce over there into foul territory. Reads it, making the catch to retire the side. So the damage limited to 1 run. Sam Fuld stumbling over the bullpen mound, but hanging on to make the first out of the inning. 1-0 Baltimore. They're down by a run. Take a look at their lineup. B.J. Upton's going to lead off against the lefty, followed by Elliott Johnson and Ben Zobrist. Manny Ramirez, the DH, then Shopik. Sean Rodriguez at third. Dan Johnson at first. Matt Joyce hitting eighth and right. Sam Fuld will bat ninth.
The dartboard came out early this year, Dwayne.
Had to get creative with the the Longoria situation, and Damon's out because of the tightness, that tight right calf.
Well, here's the major league debut of left-hander Zach Britton, top pitching prospect in the Orioles organization.
B.J. Upton fouls the first pitch. Strike one. Yep. Britton, only 23, passed up a scholarship to go to Texas A&M to sign with Baltimore.
He's a sinker slider guy, and he's one of the few left-handed pitchers you'll see that can run that velocity up close into the mid-90s, but keep the good sink on the fastball. You see it right there, the way that ball just darts off the plate. 91 miles an hour. He'll pitch in that 90 to 94, 95 mile an hour range, and look at that sink.
Well, he's just moved right up the chart in the Baltimore system since they drafted him. He's out of Weatherford High School in Weatherford, Texas, and he's gone from about 30th and then 24th and 17th and then in single digits, and to the point where he was one of the top three, and now he's the top pitching prospect that the Orioles have.
And rumor has it he graduated from Weatherford High School.
And that's not easy to do. Sam Fuld out of Stanford. Well, here's a guy who, there's a ground ball sharply hit. Reynolds at third up with it, makes a nice play to get Upton. Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who turns down a scholarship to Texas A&M. He'd already graduated from Weatherford High School, so what's the point?
Well, after that nice play by Mark Reynolds, let's take a look at the Baltimore defense. Left to right in the outfield, Felix P.A., Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis across the infield. Third to first, Mark Reynolds, J.J. Hardy, Brian Robertson, Derek Lee, Matt Wieters behind the plate once again.
Elliott Johnson steps in, hitting from the right side against Britton. There's a strike. Well, that hard sinker that we've seen already, and it has a little down and away action to the right-handed hitter, and most sinkers are going to be off of that two-seam fastball grip, and his is a little different that way. And we've learned that Calvin Maduro, who was with the Orioles in the early part of the 2000s for a few years, was spending some time with him. There's a strike on the outside corner. Actually trying to teach him a cut fastball, and he saw that it was sinking the other way. And how about that? Now figure that one out. But his grip apparently is more of the cut fastball grip on that sinker than the conventional two-seam fastball.
Well, they're also working with Zach Britton right now on a curveball, hoping that it will turn into a changeup.
And there, yeah, perfect. Here's strike three call. Well, it makes sense. I mean, you got a trend, you're going to follow it.
Well, think about it. You're working on a cut fastball, trying to cut the ball in on right-handed hitters, and you develop a sinker. Yeah. I mean, it's exactly the opposite. So,
why not?
You start teaching them a 12-6 curve, maybe a changeup comes out of it.
2 outs with the bases empty, and here's Ben Zobrist. Boy, when that ball left Ben's bat last night, I think everybody in the ballpark, including Buck Showalter, thought it was gone. Pitch outside 1-0, but it stayed in the park, and Nick Markakis made a great catch.
Yeah, that hurt on a couple of different levels. First of all, off the bat, you're thinking home run, see you later, let's go home. Worst case scenario, okay, it's off the top of the wall, and this ball game's tied.
Well, here it is.
To be.
You think it's gone? For sure, a double or a triple, and it's the final out of the game thanks to Markakis.
That was a good slider there by Zach Britton. First look at that. Good bite down and in. If he's able to work that sinker off the plate away, come in with the four-seamer and throw that slider. Tough combination.
Tap foul. They say that in the minor leagues that slider has been a plus. Slider really is his strikeout pitch.
Oh, you can see why, because that one that he just threw right there down and into Zobrist, the previous pitch had good bite, good depth to it. That's the one where you establish that fastball in the inside corner, follow it up with that slider with good depth, and you'll get guys swinging all over, right over the top of that all night.
And a shot toward left center field. PA's going to have to chase it. One hop into the wall. Zobrist on his way to second, and he will stop with a double. Made the turn, and then held on with that two-base hit. So the Rays trying to ignite the offense.
Here's your checkers double the game. Britton doesn't quite get the fastball in where he wants it. Ben Zobrist, the short, quick swing. Gets the bat head to the balls. Right here, after you see the little stumble out there in the outfield trying to pick that baseball up, Ben maybe gave thoughts to going to third base. Wisely holds up out at second, and hoping Manny Ramirez can drive him in.
Well, Manny, the DH again today. And he sends a foul out of play up the right side. The original plan had Manny in left field today, but that was before the injury to Evan Longoria and the tight calf to Johnny Damon. And so Joe Maddon's had to shuffle this lineup a couple times from his original plan. Line drive, but hit right at the shortstop Hardy. So Ramirez hit it hard, but right at Hardy, who caught it to retire the side. No runs, a hit, the Rays leave a man. 1-0 Baltimore. Of the Major League Baseball Players Association and helping Japan's children in need. Visit unicef.org or text Japan to 864233 to donate $10. Standard text messaging and transactional fees apply. For more info, visit MLB.com/Japan Relief. First pitch to Mark Reynolds is pop foul. Shopik runs out of room. The ball winds up back in the stands. Strike to count. Reynolds followed by Felix P.A. and J.J. Hardy due up. Pitch down.
Wow, you hurt a little.
1-1.
I hope you feel bad about that.
Fly ball. Left field. Bold making the call. He's got it. Reynolds is out of there. Wade Davis, 25 years old, in the number 3 spot in the Rays rotation.
I'll tell you, he is one cool customer. You think back to his year last year. He goes into the month of June with 5 starts through June and loses every single one of them, and doesn't pitch particularly well in doing it. A lot of young pitchers get down on themselves. They mope around for the rest of the year. Well, boy, after that point, talk about kickstarting it. And he really got it going to finish the season. That just shows you the mental toughness that Wade Davis possesses.
Strike to count to PA. Ground ball headed up the middle. PA has a base hit.
Well, Felix PA taking a changeup right back up the middle. And early going here, you've seen a couple of changeups from Wade Davis where he slowed his body up, slowed his arm action. That's how you sell a changeup. I mean, changeup is just nothing but, you know, the same arm speed as a fastball. It's to mimic a fastball and be down anywhere in 8 to 12 miles an hour. Well, a couple of changeups that Wade Davis has thrown, he slowed that arm up, slowed his body up. That's a big tip off to a hitter.
Yeah, and hitters don't so much process that, but it's an instinctive recognition.
They see something different.
Yeah.
They see something different, and when they see something different and it is a pitch that hangs out over the plate and is straight, it makes it that much easier to hit.
Yeah, that's what makes Shields so good, as we saw last night with the changeup. I'm still very encouraged by that performance. I know the Cubs lost a couple games, and you play 162 games.
Yeah.
A lot of baseball left. A lot of things can happen, but I tell you, to see Price and Shields come out and throw the way they did, that is really encouraging, particularly Shields, who wants to get off to a great start, make a point of that after having all the problems last year with lack of run support. Of course, he didn't get any support again last night.
Well, you could see the reason why, too. That's the big thing that comes out from the James Shields start. It wasn't just that he went out there and pitched a good game. There was a reason for it mechanically. You know, we broke it down. You saw it. If you watch the game, dramatically different, way more compact. He's picking up home plate quicker. He's driving more towards, you know, home plate. He's not spinning off as much, and it's because it all starts from that leg kick. He's not twisting so far back towards second base. If he's able to keep those mechanics there, you'll see outings like that for the next 6 months.
Yeah, he should take last night and the video of that and just watch it the 3 or 4 days he's not pitching between starts, just in prep for the next start.
Yeah, I mean, keep pumping that positive outing into the head.
I'm not sure just watching the videos enough. He might want to also listen to the Brian Anderson analysis, the audio of that. And if he does that, he'll be in great shape.
I confused myself. I actually, when I got done, I think that, well, I had strained a lat.
2-1, a pop up, that's straight back and headed into the upper deck. And out again.
Yeah, there's no question we're getting action this year up here in this booth. Getting peppered.
Foul balls, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I did say last night you're going to be here all week.
2-2 the count to J.J. Hardy. Oh, he got him. Strike call on the outside corner and a fastball and a good one.
Last Diaz, little pause there like he was thinking about it. Good pitch here by Wade Davis. You get this nice angle, view it right down, nipping that outside corner. Well, I see it touching.
That's all that's required. 2 gone, and here's Brian Roberts. It's a pitch outside. You know that pitch, that call third strike by Lance Diaz on J.J. Hardy. you know, people talk about, and you can argue whether the game should be sped up or not. That call right there does more for the pace of the game than anything else they can try to do. Fly ball center field. Upton turns and makes the catch, and that will take care of Roberts and the Orioles. No run, one hit, and man left. Bottom of the second coming, 1-0 Baltimore.
Seen him, and we caught up with Derek Shelton a day ago and asked him about how they approach a guy they've never seen before.
We haven't seen him much, but we have some guys that played against him, you know, in the past. So we go to those guys. We use some of the younger kids and what they've seen, and you know, we're going to go out and play our game, especially early in the spring. I know it sounds like a cliche, but as long as we're getting our bats in and doing the things that we need to do, we're not going to worry about what he's going to do. We're going to try to control our bats.
So, guys, not too much on the scouting report today. They're just worried about what they can do with the plate. Back to you.
Well, we'll see what Kelly Shoppach can do with the young lefty. There's a hot shot, the line drive right to Reynolds. Well, a couple line drives. Ramirez hit a shot right to the shortstop Hardy to end the first, and Shoppach lined it right to Reynolds.
Well, when the fastball's down in the zone for Zach Britton, it's got a lot of late life on it. Good movement. He's missed a couple more towards the thigh area, and they've been stung, but so far early on, nothing to show for it.
Sean Rodriguez. This pitch is a strike. Sean in there at third base. Evan Longoria placed on the 15-day disabled list. Look at the action on that pitch.
Well, and you see the difference between the first pitch of the at-bat to that one. First one, not a lot of movement. Let's get strike one. Now that we're ahead in the count, let's throw that good sinker. Actually gained a mile per hour, and you saw the movement, just really darting right to the dirt. And that's what, you know, that especially with this angle that you get a chance to look at that good sinker. What makes it a power sinker is how late the movement is. It's late, and it's like a darting type of action. It's not a rolling sink or a fading sink. It's a dart.
Yeah, and so this guy, he's thrown 4 fastballs here, but you're not necessarily going to get the same look off the fastball. And Rodriguez out on strikes, and that's you know, they talked about his slider being a strikeout pitch. How about that pitch?
Well, Sean Rodriguez swung right where this pitch was supposed to be, and then boom, look at that late movement. That's what makes that pitch so devastating, is how late the movement is. That ball is in the strike zone on the outside corner for a long way towards home plate, and then as Sean Rodriguez with 2 strikes goes to make a swing, boom, shoots off the plate, and he comes up empty.
That's an explosive sinking fastball away to the right-handed hitter. 1-0 now to Dan Johnson. No, you know, it's interesting. I'm checking some things on him in the minor leagues. He averaged a wild pitch every 9 innings. Well, the average is about maybe one every 3 games or so for a pitcher. And that's, you know, a lot, but in the minor leagues. But you've got minor league catchers trying to corral that sinker and the slider.
I was going to say, a good punch-out sinker, you can see a lot of backhands going badly.
High popper foul third base side. Reynolds runs out of room. And the count goes to 2-2. Well, he's only throwing his 2nd inning here, but I'll tell you, you can see why the Orioles are excited about this young man. Look how excited Buck Showalter is. Oh, strike 3 call on the inside corner. So the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Rays. We're at the end of 2. 1-0 Baltimore. Here's the Ottaway poll question of the day. How many games will Wade Davis win this year? TB1, 10 or less. TB2, 11, 13. TB3, 14 to 17. TB4, 18 or more. So text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. Well, he was a 12-game winner last year and has good stuff. Nick Markakis fouls a 1-0 pitch out of play. And the count is 1-1. Markakis, then Derek Lee and Vladimir Guerrero. Wade with good stuff and very serious about being successful. Got the great focus, and that's another reason the Rays locked him up in his 7-year deal that they announced just the other day. So I guess he's got, what, 4 of those guaranteed. Yep. Then the club has 3 options, 3 single season options after that.
And when you
so it's a good deal for both the club and the, in this case, the pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, it gives the club cost certainty. It gives Wade Davis, you know, some security. He's a young player. When you give a young player a multi-year deal like that, whether it turns out to be 4 years, 7 years.
Backhanded by Dan Johnson, and Davis is there to take the toss.
Nice play by Dan Johnson to flip to Wade Davis. But when you do that, you go out and give a guy a multi-year deal that's a young player. You have to trust him. That means the organization trusts Wade Davis. They trust his work ethic. They trust the fact that the money is not going to change how he approaches the game, the work that he puts in, what he does in the offseason. You know, so it says not only a lot about Wade Davis as a baseball player, but as a person also, because they trust that, you know, you see a lot of guys, you've been around long enough, you see a lot of guys that get that multi-year deal young, and all of a sudden, eat themselves out of the game. That lots of the work ethic's just not there. They get a step slow. They don't anticipate that with Wade Davis. And job well done by Wade.
There's a nice pitch off the slider. 2 strikes. This one lifted toward right center. DJ Upton is there. 2 up and 2 down. So with the bases empty, Davis will face Vladimir Guerrero. Well, Wade got off to a good start in his career against the Orioles. He threw a complete game shutout, a 4-hitter in his 3rd career start. He was up in September, his first big league season. Got his first big league win. Had 10 strikeouts in that game. Issued a couple walks. 1 strike to count. 1-1. We're in the 3rd. Baltimore scored a run in the 1st. That's it so far. Guerrero reaching, and it's a fly ball foul up the right side. Keep working on that. It's all right.
That's why he doesn't have a number yet.
Yep, no stripes, no number. Fly ball lifted back to center. Upton has room and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. Go the Orioles. Bottom of the inning coming, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. Rays baseball brought to you by Checkers. Feast on. By Tires Plus. Thinking tires? Think Tires Plus. And by your local Southern Ford dealers. It's a family fun day at Tropicana Field. Wrap-up game of this 3-game series. Matt Joyce leads off the bottom of the 3rd. He swings through the fastball from Zach Britton. That's a strike. We were reminded by our statistician Rick Odioso that Zach Britton is not the only left-hander to come out of Weatherford, Texas. Hippo Vaughn, who pitched for the Cubs in the early part of the 20th century, won over 170 games in the major leagues. He was from Weatherford, Texas.
But did he graduate? That is the question.
Well, there's a chance that Zach Britton's graduating class was a little more numerous than Hippo Vaughn's, if in fact he did. This one is down 2-2. I don't know if he graduated or not, but he was a pretty good pitcher.
I was going to say,
and also was involved in one of those. You know, we think there's controversy today. You know, all of the stuff that goes on, and you know, in some cases that's what's going to draw attention. But history has it that Hippo Vaughn was actually stabbed by his father-in-law because there were marital difficulties between Hippo and his wife, but they reconciled by the time the father-in-law arrived and did the damage.
wow.
And then he fled the city. And
I was going to say, I'd have to rethink that relationship if I was plunged.
Yeah. Just a story for Family Fun Day.
We should have saved that one for Oakland.
Yeah. Well, there's a chance that Britton's not going to pitch against us at Oakland, so it was either now or never. A 2-2 count to Matt Joyce. Full count.
Tried a couple different times in this at bat to put Matt Joyce away with that good slider. Been a little short with it.
And Matt draws the walk. We've seen that out of Matt Joyce more than a couple times. You know, he's worked the count and seen some pitches, and here he is drawing a walk his first trip to the plate.
Yeah, very fortunate too, because he was down in the count early. Able to foul off a pitch and take a couple tough sliders, and then that one, Zach Britton just spiked it, and that was a ball right out of his hand. Rays get the leadoff man aboard.
Sam Fuld. Pitch was a strike. Well, this is the first start. This outfielder out of Stanford. Shows the bunt, gets the bat back. It's 1-1. The Rays really love his contact ability.
Yeah, and that's why you look for some action right here, whether it be with the bunt, try to put the bat on the ball, maybe start the runner. Rays need to find a way to manufacture some offense. First couple of games been pretty stagnant. You got the three lefties here at the bottom of the lineup. Try to put something on.
And again, he shows the bunt, takes the pitch high. 2-1. Well, that's another side. You know, we talked about the Rays breaking the game down and doing a lot of things, and I think we're going to see all kinds of things like that. They're going to try to do everything they can think of to put pressure on the opposition.
Well, Joe has a lot of pieces on this team and in that dugout to be able to do it with. A lot of versatile players, both offensively and defensively. You see Sam square around again, forcing Zach Britton out of the zone. Sometimes that can be distracting for a pitcher, especially a young one. Joe's taken the catchphrase for this year really to heart. Find another way. He's trying to find a lot of different ways.
And ball 4. So there you go. That 9-pitch at bat by Joyce, and now the walk by Fuld, first and second, and nobody out.
Well, in today's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida.
So we'll go back around to the top of the order. Here's B.J. Upton. Baltimore scored a first inning run, and that's the only scoring so far. Well, the 8 and 9 hitters have walked. And here's B.J.
That's frustrating for Buck Showalter down there to watch his young starter go through the first 2 innings and do it pretty well, and then come at the bottom of the order with 2 left-handed hitters and walk them both.
B.J. had a double opening night, 2 hits last night. Pitch taken for a ball. Mark Connor, the pitching coach, is going to trot to the mound now with these 2 walks and the first pitch up and away to B.J. Upton.
Well, that's what you worry about with a young starter, especially one making his major league debut. The game's speeding up on him. All of a sudden, you walk a couple of guys, you get a little bit out of rhythm.
Hey, don't miss another minute of the action. Only at the ballpark. You can get the best seats, biggest savings, and all the fantastic benefits by becoming a Rays season ticket holder. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. Where else can you get cotton candy like that? Right here at the ballpark. That's ballpark cotton candy.
Looks good.
And it's color coordinated. B.J. after the 1-0 pitch pops it into shallow right. Markakis coming in. Gonna drop. Now a quick throw to second, and the runner is out there. Fold had to hold up, thinking that ball might be caught when it fell in between Markakis and Roberts. He was liable to be forced at second, and was. So Fold is forced at second. It turned out to be a fielder's choice pop into shallow right.
Right off the end of the bat, Sam Fold. You can see him starting to crack at the time. Yeah, he just wasn't far enough out there. Not knowing if Markakis was going to make that catch on run and be able to throw back behind him. He didn't get far enough off of first base and had a long way to run.
So the Rays pick up a base on that. So it goes 9-6, Markakis to Hardy for the out. But Joyce advances to third. So with 1 out, it's first and third. Here's Elliott Johnson. And Elliott puts down that bunt. Down the line from third comes Joyce. He's going to score to tie the game and safe at first. Well, that's part of the bag of tricks the Rays have. They get the run home to tie the game on the bunt by Elliott Johnson. Joyce scores. Upton safely in at second, and Johnson beat the play to first.
Wow, this was almost a no-brainer. The Rays love this play, and with Zach Britton's sinker, they're thinking double play with that good sinker, but he goes down. He sees the ball down in play, busts it towards home plate. It's a play that you can't hardly defend. And then after a little trouble getting the ball out of the glove, Britton's throw to first does not make it in time. Elliott Johnson safe. And I'll tell you what, you saw that slide into home plate by Matt Joyce. Pretty lucky that he didn't end up getting hurt sliding onto the bat like that. Good way to tear your shins up.
Ben Zobrist in the batter's box. Britton throws him a first pitch strike. Well, the Rays are on the board here in the bottom of the third. Johnson picking up the RBI, bunting his way on.
Well, if that play is executed properly, it is virtually impossible to stop.
Runners take off, throw to third, and Upton is out there. Upton trying to time his break and is caught trying to steal. Johnson trails into second, and BJ is cut down. Leaders to Reynolds.
Well, the Rays, we talked about it, trying to manufacture some offense, a little double steal action here. But boy, Matt Wieters He gets a good pitch to handle and gets rid of it quickly. Good throw, plenty of time to get BJ.
BJ running a straight line to third, but the ball beat him there.
Well, and he was forced to run, you know, from flat-footed. He was standing flat-footed. A lot of times those good base stealers, they want to get a little bit momentum going. The pitcher's job is to stop them, keep them close and stop them, make them run from that position. And Matt Wieters, you know, he got a ball that was up in the zone coming out of his stance. A great hard throw down to third base. It was an easy play.
Zobrist out on strikes to retire the side. So the Rays pick up a run to tie through 3, 1-1. Afternoon, we go to the fourth inning, and it's time for the trivia question presented by AT&T. Just how many players in Major League Baseball have played in 140 plus games for 15 consecutive seasons? We've got some candidates here. Matt Wieters leads off, the young catcher. The pitch from Wade Davis is low. Wade 48 pitches through the first 3 innings. 24 of those came in the first. It's a high foul. 1-1. Great to have you looking in this afternoon. We appreciate that. Hope you're making plans to see the Rays and the Angels. The Angels will be in here Tuesday and Wednesday. Pitch is a strike to Wieters. A ball, 2 strikes. Holds the count right there. Have a night game and a day game against the Angels. And that Tuesday game is a 6 o'clock pregame, and 6:30 we begin our game coverage. Got it. 2-2. And Wednesday is a 1 o'clock affair.
Businessman special.
Matinee.
Yeah, if you will.
That's always the question. 2-2.
Well, I will.
I'll see you here. Strike call on the inside corner. Wade Davis picks up the strikeout. That's his 3rd of the day.
That's a thing of beauty. The fastball inside to a hitter where the hitter doesn't even wait for the call. Boom. Knows it's a strike. Matt Wieters is heading over to the dugout before Laz Diaz can even make the call. He knows it. You lock a hitter up like that, he's not even hoping. He knows, I'm out of here. Good pitch.
Adam Jones tries to put down the bunt, fouls it. That's a strike.
That was a bunt that if it would have stayed fair, it would have been a double.
Wade, it took him a few pitches to settle in the first, but he's settled in nicely. And a tap. Davis backhands off the mound. The throw to Johnson at first. 2 up, 2 now. I think the point you were making in the first inning makes a lot of sense, where less is more.
Yeah.
And that's true. It's true in a lot of sports, but certainly in this one, in pitching. I mean, sometimes the harder you try to throw, your velocity actually diminishes.
Yeah. Or the command, one or the other. You know, you lose that fluidity. Everything becomes rigid because you're so tensed up trying to throw hard. Or you will get the velocity, but you have no idea where it's going. And I think that Wade Davis protecting against that early in the ball game. You know, the velocity, he was throwing 88, 89, clipped in 90. All of a sudden, now he's in some, you know, he got a tough situation going on out there. Runners on first and second base. He starts to dial it up, gets into the flow of the game, and he's really taken off since then.
Strike the count to Reynolds. This one darts low. 1-1. High pop-up foul. And Johnson digging hard. That ball might still be playable. Nope, to be about a couple of rows back. That ball not picked up by Shopik, and Dan Johnson realized that early, and he was really busting it just in case that ball stayed in play. Johnson coming down from first base.
Yeah, don't assume just because the ball's a long way away from you, the catcher's going to be able to pick it up, and Dan Johnson alertly got there. That ball stays in play, and it's an out.
One ball, 2 strikes. This one popped to shallow right. Matt Joyce is there waiting already. And that take care of Baltimore. 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the 4th coming. 1-1 tie. In the bottom of the 3rd to tie it. They come in to hit in the bottom of the 4th. Time to get the answer to that AT&T trivia question. How many players in MLB history have played in 140 plus games in 14 consecutive years? 15. Well, there they are. Johnny Damon in 15, Willie Mays in 15, Hank Aaron, Pete Rose, and Brooks Robinson 16 years. And here's Manny Ramirez. Well, that's great company for Johnny Damon.
It really is.
It's impressive.
Well, you're talking, staying healthy for that many years in a row to be able to play over 140 games. I mean, any little minor injury can take you out long enough to dip below the 140 mark. That's impressive. Durability. Almost as impressive as that pitch was. A good changeup there. Bottomed out.
Manny hit the ball right on the button, but right at the shortstop his first time. That pitch in on him. Fastball got in there. He fouls it 1-2. Manny picked up a run batted in the 8th inning last night. He was under it and pops it to the right side. Foul ball, and Lee is there to make the catch. So one away here in the 4th.
No, I think Zach Britton, with that changeup that he got Manny Ramirez to swing over the top of, sometimes you do that to a good fastball hitter. You take away a little bit of his aggressiveness because you really fooled him. So now he's got that little bit of doubt in his mind. The next 2 fastballs kind of got in on Manny, forced him into that little pop-up. Wasn't nearly as aggressive with those last 2 swings.
Now Kelly Shopping. After the first pitch, missed it. Shopping swung at the first pitch his first time up and lined down to third to Reynolds. So he's not wasting any time here with Britton out there. He's getting into the act early. He's off this one.
Well, how about those first 2 pitches? Kelly Shopping, he can turn around fastball. He goes to the slider down and in, and then follows that up with a good changeup. You don't want him to start getting into a good rhythm with those off-speed pitches to go with that sinker. Be tough to come by runs again.
It's a ball and 2 strikes. Squares it at 2-2. The history on Britton so far in the minor leagues: strikeouts and ground balls. There's a ground ball to short. Hardy's throw to first. 2 gone.
Well, back by popular demand for the 2011 season is the Rays Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express. This year's roster features artists like REO Speedwagon, Darius Rucker, the Goo Goo Dolls, and Miranda Lambert. Visit RaysBaseball.com for the full lineup of Rays Saturday nights presented by Bright House Sports Network.
Yeah, that's just the start. And boy, it's a good list of performers already. Strike to Sean Rodriguez.
Well, I'm continuing to be impressed year to year, the acts that they're able to get in for these games.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that they could ever top ZZ Top. But boy, they've just continued to keep the motor running.
Well, I mean, for me, it was Bret Michaels. He bring in.
I know.
You know.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I don't have the big hair, but I do have the lighter.
1-2. Speaking of ZZ Top.
It's hard to take him serious with that look.
The count goes to 2-2. Rodriguez and Shopik have been retired. All Davey needed was some cheap sunglasses. This one is down. 3-2. Well hit back into left. PA going back, and it's going to be all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Sean Rodriguez as he arrives standing with a double. Two out, two base hit for Rodriguez.
Now, when you got a guy out there that has good stuff and is in a good rhythm, making good pitches, you just hope for a mistake, and when you get it, you can't miss it. You got to capitalize. Well, that pitch caught too much plate. Sean Rodriguez hit it just hard enough to get it over the head of Felix PA and give the Rays a scoring opportunity here with 2 outs. You see some of the breaks on Britton's pitches, the slider, the changeup, the sinker. You just hope to get one out over the plate. Like I said, if you do get it, you can't miss.
Fastball misses to Dan Johnson in the neighborhood of 94. That fastball. Rodriguez in scoring position. Two and 0. Britton making his major league debut. About 30 family members and friends who made the trip in from Texas to watch him pitch. Grounding ball foul that evens the count at 2-2. This is not the first time Britton has been here at a Tropicana Field. He was here the night before Wade Boggs hit the home run for career hit number 3,000. Set out in the outfield seats. Johnson hits a high fly ball straight away center. Jones has room though and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a double, and a man left. On to the 5th. We're tied 1-1.
Up a weekend series. Guys, we are right across from the Rays team store for one of the newest items in the concession stands, and they are wings around the world. You get boneless wings right here in a little cup, your choice of celery with ranch or blue cheese. Then for the toppings on the wings, you have one of 7 different choices: barbecue sauce, teriyaki, Cajun, buffalo wing sauce. Your choice right here at the Wings Around the World. Guys, back to you.
All right, I'm going to guess he'll go for the Cajun. Felix BA pops it up. And Rodriguez over third handles that one. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the 5th inning in this tie game.
I figured he would go with the Caribbean jerk.
You know, that's probably a good choice. I think you're correct. Pitch to J.J. Hardy is low, 1-0. I know the way your mind works. Didn't take long, did it? 2-0 the count.
And on a kid's family day.
Sure. There it is.
Yeah. Excuse me, family fun day.
Yeah. There you are. This ball lifted back toward left center, upped it on the run. He'll be there, and BJ makes the catch. 2 to go. Let's change the subject and look at our upcoming schedule, shall we?
Thank goodness.
Okay. Time to look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Our coverage Tuesday begins at 6 for the 6:30 game against the Angels. And on Wednesday, our coverage begins at 12:30, leading up to that 1 o'clock of game coverage. Jeff Neiman and Jeremy Hellickson against Weaver and Herron, the pitching matchup. That upcoming race schedule brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. You can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color.
Well, that's been, I mean, the theme of this young season so far in this series has been the pitching. Boy, when the Angels come into town, we're going to see more of it. The 2 big boys.
This one the other way. Fold is there, and he makes the catch. The liner stayed up, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning there. Ball game heads into the bottom of the 5th. Still tied 1-1. We take a look at our game summary, and Wade Davis, among other things, has had only 1 3-ball count. That was on Derek Lee in the first.
Again, pitching.
Yeah, Wieters dropped that base hit, chasing home Roberts. The Rays facing Zach Britton, and he's been very good. It was that bunt put down by Elliott Johnson that got the run home, scoring Matt Joyce in the 3rd inning to tie this game. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, It's Matt Joyce leading it off and taking the first pitch for a ball. Joyce worked that leadoff walk in the third in a 9-pitch at bat.
And you see these two young starters, as this game is moving on, they're getting more and more comfortable, really letting things fly.
You know, the other thing you're talking about, you know, we've seen a good young pitching matchup today, and we've seen good starting pitching the first 2 nights of the season. And with Neiman and Hellickson set to go, there's a shot down the left side. That ball's going to carry and is foul. Well, he had enough distance, but it's sliced foul. The count is 1-2, but with Neiman and Hellickson scheduled to go against the Angels and Weaver and Herron there, you know, we should see some exciting baseball where, you know, 1 or 2 pitches, 1 or 2 plays, a couple of good at bats might decide the game.
Yeah, a lot of high intensity baseball games. I mean, the pitching was so good throughout Major League Baseball last year. You've seen that pick up so far in this series. And yeah, Jeremy Hellickson, Jeff Neiman getting an opportunity to go out for the first time and going up against an Angel club looking to rebound from last year. They're going up against their 2 best starters in Weaver and Herron. So they've got their work cut out for them.
And a full count again. A good look at that slider, 2-2 off the plate for ball 3.
Matt Joyce seeing the ball very well right now. Able to lay off that slider just off the dish.
And he's out on strikes.
I didn't say he was seeing the ball great. I said very well. Fastball is able to sneak it by him on the outside corner, and he comes up empty on the swing.
Tigers at last look had a 5-4 lead on the Yankees, and Cabrera homered for the Tigers. There's that pitch. Teixeira and Cano have homered for the Yankees.
That was kind of a rushed swing there by Matt Joyce, which leads me to believe he was looking off speed again, looking for that slider, and got surprised by the fastball, and it just beat him.
1-1. 3-2. Do you? What about looking for a pitch 3-2?
Well, no, I mean I wouldn't, but I was a career 1-something hitter. It just didn't look like you know, a very aggressive hack. Just kind of was feeling for the ball out there, and so many times when you see a guy do that, they either are strained an oblique or they got caught in between pitches.
One and 2 the count to Fold. And a good look, taking the pitch down. 2-2. Fold keeps the bat going with a foul ball. We are 1 out into the 5th, just over 80 pitches for Britton. Wade Davis has 66 pitches through 5 after he made 24 in the first. So the Rays hitters up and down the line here trying to battle Britton and push the pitch count up a little bit. Back to the mound. Britton's toss to Lee. Fold is out number 2.
Well, with the way Britton is pitching, that might be the Rays' best opportunity to run that pitch count up and get him out of the game.
Just a reminder to be on the lookout for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment coming up later in the game today. And until such time, this is the Taste Greatness moment. B.J. Upton, ground ball to third. Ball stays down, bobbled by Reynolds. Recovers and throws, and the Rays are out 1, 2, 3. We're through 5, still tied 1-1.
Baltimore as we head to the 6th inning. Wade Davis has his here for this start, but guys, it'll only last a few more hours, and here's why.
On Sunday, I'm doing a thing for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, which is called Cup for the Cure, and we've been trying to raise money for the foundation. And on the day I pitch on Sunday, I'm going to come out here, and a couple of the kids are going to come up and shave my head, and that's just kind of the whole part of the deal.
More information at pcfcutforacure.org. Wade Davis will be shaved bald after the game, guys, on top of the Rays dugout. Back to you.
Well, let's hope that's a celebration of a victory as well. First pitch to Nick Markakis, down and in. 1-0. Markakis 0 for 2. He's had a couple of nice defensive plays made against him, and it's only fair after that play he made last night. Bold made that fine catch when he stumbled over the mound down along the left field bullpen, and then Dan Johnson made a nice play on a toss to Wade Davis in the third to get him. The play Markakis made last night on that ball hit by Ben Zobrist just saved the game for Baltimore. Texas out in front of Boston again. 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th in Arlington, and Ian Kinsler has hit another home run. He has 3. Murphy hit one as well. 2-2, and the Ranger bats are red hot. Jose Bautista has a home run today, his second. Minnesota leads Toronto 3-2 at last check. That's the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th in Toronto. Here we're in the top of the 6th inning. The Rays and the Orioles are tied 1-1. Kansas City's jumped on Scott Kazmir and the Angels. Kansas City 5 and the Angels nothing. Bottom of the 2nd in Kansas City. There's a base hit driven through the right side. 3-2 pitch and a fastball. Number 4 given up by Wade Davis. Kazmir has been knocked out of the game already. So that snaps a streak of 11 in a row retired by Wade Davis. So he'll go to work out of the stretch for the first time since the 2nd inning. Derek Lee, hopper down the right side. Johnson trying to track it. Tough play, and he cannot complete it. Ball hit the mitt, but Johnson could not corral it.
Dan Johnson going after this, trying to keep his eye on it and float with it. For the most part, you see it right here, just going off the end of the glove. You want your guy to run to the spot, to take off running hard, but it's tough to do here in this dome. You don't want to take your eye off the ball. May not be able to pick it back up, and Dan Johnson floating down there, running, keeping his eye on the ball, comes up just a touch short.
Pitch in on Lee, tied him up, and he pops it into left center field. And B.J. Upton taking charge from center field. You had Fold and Upton converging, and in that situation, you want a center fielder who's going to make the decision and take charge.
Yeah, well, that's B.J. Upton's ball all the way. Sam Fold a little excited out there in left field. Coming there and getting in the way a little bit.
Hey, he's done a lot of running all the way from the bullpen in the first inning, sliding over the mound, and he was well over into center on that one.
Look at him. BJ's like, excuse me. Hey, first up there, he's an eager beaver. He wants to, amped up.
Guerrero breaks his bat down to third. Rodriguez to second. 1. Zobrist first 2. 5-4-3 on the double play. Retire the side. Broken bat ground ball off the bat of Guerrero. Bottom of the 6th coming. It's a 1-1 game. Brought to you today by Ram Trucks, by Checkers, Feast On, and by AutoWay, part of Auto Nation, the largest automotive dealer in the country, so we can do big things. 1-1 tie, bottom of the 6th inning.
It's an impressive shot. Sunshine Skyway. It feels like you're a whole lot higher than that angle right there.
Sure does.
Get to the top of that thing.
Elliott Johnson has the run batted in for the Rays, taking a strike to start the home half of inning 6. Two.
That's a nasty slider, late breaker.
Rays facing Zach Britton, 23-year-old lefty, making his major league debut. High fly, center field. Jones is there and makes the catch. You know, Jones has a gold glove. And the way Markakis plays right field, the Orioles making a lot of noise about how Markakis is worthy of a gold glove, and he made that point last night.
Well, he is a very good right fielder. Not only we saw him make another catch last night running away, you know, chasing a ball down, catching it up over his head, but you know, you only factor in the glove part of it. He's very good, but he's got tremendous arm out in right field. A lot of outfield assists, and you get to the point where not a lot of teams will run on him because he has such a good and accurate arm.
You know, there's a nice changeup to start Zobra's swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's got all his pitches working right now. That's why I'm saying I think the best case scenario is you try to take advantage of any mistake that he makes, and there's not been many. You try to get him out of the game by pitch count, because right now he's got all three working.
Pitch is down. I've got him at 90 right now. There it is.
And about what you would expect from a guy with a good sinker, a lot of fastballs. What's been impressive is his ability to use it on both sides of the plate, in and out, to the right-handed hitters. Here you got a chance in the 3-1 count. Ben Zobrist has already hit a ball hard in the first inning.
And ball 4. So the Rays get the leadoff walk drawn by Ben Zobrist. Second time Ben's been on. Look, Showalter's making a call to the bullpen. That's going to start some action moving down there. Get the right-hander Jason Birkin up. Here is Manny. Zobrist draws a toss. Well, the Rays playing without Evan Longoria, who goes on the 15-day disabled list. Johnny Damon has a tight calf. Again, the pitch in on him, and pops it up foul. Wieters handles it. Fastball in, and Manny, for the second time, fouls out. This time to the catcher.
Well, we've seen this all series long. Baltimore has made it a point. They are really trying to get in the kitchen of Manny Ramirez and not allow him to get those arms extended. You see, they continue to pound him on the inner half. This ball in off, and that ball gets it right off the label and pops it up.
Well, that overhead shot continues to be great. We really have some great vantage points. We talked last night about the improved center field shot, right over, it's straight on the plate, and then this overhead shot is really great for showing that that pitch that didn't get in on Manny. That's a true shot right there too.
You know, the key, if you're going to pound Manny Ramirez, you had better execute, because if you make mistakes, he's going to hit the ball hard. But so far, when they've gotten it in there, they've been successful.
Kelly Shopuk has lined out and grounded out. Overs draws another toss.
He found a chink in the armor and moved to first base.
What, he can't do everything?
He hasn't had enough base runners yet to perfect that move.
And he has Shopuk out in front. Good first pitch change.
You see the good arm speed really sells it. You can see how far out in front Kelly Shopuk is. And that look of disgust after.
And strike two. You know, that changeup, that's again another sign of a bright young man in Britain. Not only did he take instruction and as it turns out developed a great sinker, but with that changeup, he's had conversations with Brian Mattis, who's now on the shelf, and they had to shuffle their rotation because of that. But he's got that changeup, and he's shown a great changeup. Britton has, after spending time with Mattis, discussing and working on the change.
One after the other.
Yep.
The guys who I'm still friends with today, I grew up, since I was 10 years old playing with all those guys. So, we were together on those teams back in the day. It was pretty fun.
Going to Cooperstown when I was 12.
My favorite childhood memory as far as playing Little League Baseball is creating friendships that lasted a lifetime.
Well, look, great memories all, and they're all centered around this great game. And it's another one of those great family fun days here at the ballpark every Sunday at Tropicana Field. It's Family Fun Day.
We encourage everybody to come out to the ball game, come out to Tropicana Field so you don't have to listen to us.
That's incentive enough right there.
I mean, Family Fun Day, yes. We're a menace.
Seventh inning underway. Wade Davis out there on the hill for the Rays in a 1-1 ball game. Leader sends one into right. That's going to fall for a base hit. Joyce makes the pickup, and Wieters makes the turn and stops.
Well, we've seen that a few times tonight from Wade Davis. Just his body action on the changeup is not as quick as on the other pitches. And just a touch slow. And Matt Wieters, you know, you get good arm speed on that same changeup. He's probably out in front of it, but right there he kind of feels it in there. And Matt Wieters is able to get just enough of it to get it out into right field for a leadoff single. And we've seen that 3 or 4 changeups have really stood out with Wade Davis slowing his body down.
Adam Jones.
You see how that quick finish right there, how he kind of lands soft and then boom, he's got a quick arm, good arm action on the changeup. It's not quite there.
Jones 0 for 2, went out pitcher first in the 4th. Ground ball, and that's going to go through the left side, a base hit. Stopping at second, Wieters. So base hits back to back to open the 7th inning for Baltimore. So the Orioles have put together 2 hits for the first time since the 1st inning.
Well, here's how you have where you have to go to work. Mark Reynolds, super aggressive at the plate. Hunt's fastball. You try to take advantage of that aggressiveness. Get yourself a double play ball.
And a foul ball. Fastball, and he fouled it straight back.
Wade Davis trying to sneak that ball in on the hands. Got to make sure you get it there. If you do, you get a nice infield pop-up and a quick, easy out. If you don't,
could be trouble.
That could be big trouble.
It's too close, and it's 1-1. Around 6 hits for Baltimore. Around 3 hits for the Rays. The pitch drops low. Slider. 2-1. Felix PA is on deck. He's in there playing left. Luke Scott out of the lineup. A 2-1 count. Up the left field side. It's going to bound off the wall. Karen played by full. Wieters will score. Into third goes Jones, and Reynolds has a double to give Baltimore a 2-1 lead. 3 consecutive hits.
Now Mark Reynolds eventually gets a slider. Here's the pitch by pitch. Fastball, he fouls straight back, and then Wade Davis coming in there, misses in off. Gets around a slider a little bit. This one, you know, he saw that slider the pitch before, took it down in the zone, sees the very next pitch, the same pitch, the same spin. This time it's elevated, and he's able to smoke it down into the corner. That's what happens. You follow up a breaking ball that breaks down close to the dirt. You throw another one that's now it's elevated. They see that same spin. It's closer to him, easier to handle, and gets hit hard.
Infield in with Felix PA in the batter's box. And the first pitch, curveball, taken for a strike. Rays have action in the bullpen. Ramos, the lefty. Cruz, the right-hander. Pitch is down. It's 1-1. Ground ball, shortstop. Runners will hold, and Johnson makes the throw to first. So with the infield end, BA hit the ball right to Elliott Johnson, one away.
Now that's huge, the way that Zach Britton's pitching. You want to fall any further behind than this one run. You bring the infield in, and that is just tailor-made. One hop, easy play. Big first out. Tough part is you got to do it again.
J.J. Hardy 0 for 2 in this game. He walked and scored last night. Had a double and a walk and 2 runs scored opening night. And the pitch is a strike. Little slider dropped in.
Good first pitch right there, getting ahead of the count.
One strike the count. And a shot past the diving Rodriguez up the left field line toward the corner. Jones scores, Reynolds scores. Hardy comes through with a double, chasing home 2 more. And with one swing of the bat, it's now a 4-1 game. So Hardy, out of that 9th spot, has had a good series here and drives in 2.
Short, quick stroke. That ball's in. J.J. Hardy takes a direct path to it, and Wade knew it. That ball got hit hard. Sean Rodriguez had to play in, trying to cut the run off at the plate, and gets by him down into the corner, and the Rays find themselves down by 3.
And Joe Madden makes the walk from the dugout to the mound, and that's going to be it for Wade Davis. He pitches 6 1/3 and will depart. We will be back in a moment. Leads this game, and the Toyota inside look takes a look at Wade Davis. 89 pitches through 6 1/3 and departs down by 3.
Wade Davis again, like Ray's pitching in this series. He's good early on, gets into the late innings, and 1 or 2 big hits have blown the game open.
Cesar Ramos, the lefty, brought on to turn Brian Roberts around. And that's a strike. That's what Joe Madden did last night, trying to turn the switch hitter Roberts around to the right side. And that was all crossed up when he hit the home run.
Yeah.
But throughout his career, he has been a better hitter left-handed than right-handed.
Yeah, good 30 points lower.
Pitch blocked by Shopik, and it's 1-1. The only other question about that is that the matchup with Farnsworth had been good against Roberts, and he was available down there as well. But you can't blame Madden. I mean, he's he plays matchups, and you're looking for the statistical advantage, lefty-righty, and that's exactly where he went that time.
And it also, too, good changeup there by Ramos. But if you do come in with Farnsworth because he's got a good matchup, good numbers against Brian Roberts, you got Nick Markakis lurking right behind him. You don't want Markakis Farnsworth, so you take the 30 points lower from the right side, bring in the lefty to face him, and then have him to face Markakis. Of course, it blew up. Didn't work out that way. But
the question is, in that case, do you want to use Farnsworth for just one hitter?
Right.
2-2 the count. And we're seeing again right here, I mean, Madden's going to stay with trying to turn Roberts around as often as he can. A 2-2 count. And a popper on the infield. Elliott Johnson takes care of that.
You can turn a guy around all you want. He may be a weaker hitter from one side as opposed to the other, but you've still got to execute the pitches. Last night the pitch wasn't executed. It was out over the plate. Hey, he's a big league hitter. He can hit that pitch. That fastball by Cesar Ramos got in where he wanted it. You get the bad swing and the infield pop-up.
And here's Markakis. Here's a guy who hits lefties as well as he hits right-handers, so take your pick. And he did hurt the Rays in the early stages of this series. There's a strike. I mean, he's a guy who last year hit .361 off left-handed pitching.
He does do a nice job of keeping that front side in there. So many lefty hitters facing lefty pitchers want to pull out a touch early. He keeps that front shoulder buried.
2 strikes to count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. The Orioles have taken a 4-1 lead with a 3-run 7th. Ball 2 strikes. Hitters opened with the base hit, and that has led to 3 runs. Jones and Reynolds have also scored in the inning. Two and two. Ramos inheriting the runner Hardy at second. He's still accountable to Wade Davis. Down to the left side and to the left of Rodriguez into left. Runner's going to try to score. The throw. Full throws him out. Hardy tries to score on the base hit to the opposite side, and Sam Full cuts him down. But a nice throw. He charged the ball in left and cuts down Hardy with room to spare. Shopik put the tag on him to retire the side. Sam Fuld getting an assist, gunning down J.J. Hardy for the final out in the top of the inning. He's hoping to get a chance to hit in the bottom of the 7th. He's due to hit 4th. The Rays are going to have to go to work with their bats. They're down 4-1. They've been out hit now 9-3. And they'll be facing a new pitcher. The right-hander Jason Birkin enters the game. Birkin replaces Zach Britton, who pitched 6 very good innings in his major league debut. So Birkin puts the finishing touches on his warm-up tosses. Let's check in with Todd Callis.
Yeah, Dwayne, you know, it's a kid's Sunday, and we've got from West Hernando here the first place Nationals, and from Shady Hills we've got the first place Mets. So we've got all winning teams here. And you were talking about Zach Britton, who pitched for the Orioles today. When he was 11 years old, he went to a game here at Tropicana Field, just a couple of sections down from here. And just to relive that moment, he walked up into the stands yesterday to kind of get that same perspective. He was here the night before Wade Boggs hit his 3,000th hit with a home run to right field. So amongst these 7 or 8-year-olds or 13 or 14-year-olds, you may be seeing the next Zach Britton sometime soon, watching a game from here, and then eventually pitching on the mound. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, boy, he draws a crowd wherever he goes. Yeah, that was in August of '99, and the night before Wade hit that historic home run for his 3,000th hit. Zach Britton was here. Swing and a miss by Sean Rodriguez to begin the bottom of the 7th. So Britton worked 6 innings, made 96 pitches, and he was impressive. Slider. And from right-handers, Rodriguez will get a steady diet of that until he proves that he can hit it.
Well, you can see with those first 2 swings, he kind of standing straight up, reaching for that pitch, not driving down through its right field. You know, not easy to do. He wants to drive the ball early in the count, but those sliders are just tearing towards the outside corner, and he's just not able to reach them. So you're right, Dwayne. He will get peppered with those until he shows the ability to be able to shoot that pitch into right field.
Oh, strike 3 call. Birkin made a nice pitch there after getting ahead of him.
Well, he swung over the 2 sliders and then booms, gets surprised. That's just a perfect fastball down and away. Frozen.
Dan Johnson pitches a strike. Out of play, 0-2. Birkin, 27 years old. Out of Clemson University. 2 strikes. Johnson is out on strikes. Boy, that's a nice break on that pitch.
A good slider down and in gets Dan Johnson to swing over the top. The one thing that we've seen here these first 3 games from Oriole pitching is their rhythm and their tempo. Jason Birkin taking no time, getting from one pitch to the next, keeping a good tempo, a good rhythm to go along with good stuff. Good slider right there. That's all coming from the philosophy of Mark Connor. That's what Showalter's pitching coach.
Matt Joyce comes out swinging and fouls it away. Strike 1.
I got a chance to pitch under Mark Connor. He was my pitching coach when I was at the Diamondbacks out in Arizona when Buck was the manager there, and that's the way he likes it. Have a plan, have an idea, keep a good rhythm out on the mound, get the ball, throw it. That's what these Oriole pitchers have been doing and kept this Rays lineup on its heels for 3 straight days.
Inside 1-1. Well, Birkin's making some nice pitches here. You know, he finished last year. He had some shoulder issues. He had Inflammation in that right shoulder, and they shut him down pretty much in early August. I think the first week of August or so on the DL, and he finished the year that way. Count still 1-2 to Joyce. Inside, fastball around 90. Slider takes the count full. Strike three called on the outside edge. Soft out there. And Birkin strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 8th. 4-1 Baltimore.
The 8th inning. Join us as opening week continues Tuesday and Wednesday when the Rays host the Los Angeles Angels. Tickets start at just $9, so grab some friends and make some memories. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today.
We go to the 8th, and right-hander Juan Cruz takes over from the Rays bullpen. Ramos worked 2/3 of an inning, allowing a hit. Cruz delivers a fastball high to Derek Lee. 1 ball, no strikes. Oh. 1-1. The right side foul. Johnson drifting toward the stands and is there for this one to get Lee. 1 out in the 8th.
Juan Cruz, a good story for the Rays. Coming into spring training, non-roster. Coming off a shoulder surgery last year, appeared in just 5 games and was able during the course of spring training to show Joe Madden and Jim Hickey that he was healthy enough and recovered enough to throw in back-to-back games, and had a very good spring. Was able to break camp with the team.
He pitched in just 5 games for Kansas City. 2 strikes. Released by Kansas City in April after making those 5 appearances. He had had some physical challenges over there and tried to pitch through them, and by the time he was released, he was going to have some surgery done on that, and so he did that on his own and worked his way back. Still 2 strikes to Guerrero. Some work done on his shoulder in May of last year. So he did show the Rays some good velocity in the spring. 2-2 now. Cutting a couple of pitches away from Guerrero there. It's even in the count. And Guerrero chases this one. So he's out on strikes.
Well, he kept trying to entice him to go after the slider off the plate. Guerrero not biting. Comes right here, almost like a cut fastball. Keeps that one elevated. 90 miles an hour. Just keeps tracking away from Vladimir, and even Vladimir can't reach it.
Matt Wieters, who takes a strike. Steady diet of those pitches.
Yeah. Keeping it up in the upper 80s, 90 mile an hour. Short, quick break.
Rays have been out hit 9-3 today, and they trail 4-1. And it's popped up right side. It's Johnson. That's a fair ball, and he makes the catch. 1-2-3. Go the Orioles. 4-1 Baltimore. The Rays take on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We'll be with you at 6 o'clock on Sun Sports with Rays Live, the pregame in high definition. Jeff, 27-16 in his major league career. He'll be pitching here Tuesday night. And Wednesday afternoon, the final game of the series and the homestand against the Angels. Jim Johnson will be the new pitcher for Baltimore here as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Sam Fold leading off. The pitch is a strike. Short on the bat. Throwing Reynolds in from third base. Foul ball runs the count to 2 strikes. Tigers have a 9-7 lead on the Yankees at last count. It's in the bottom of the 8th. And Cleveland beat the White Sox 7-1.
You sound surprised.
I'm surprised that one team scored only 1 run.
Yeah, the way that series started off.
A little roller to first. Right to Derek Lee. He makes the play unassisted. Well, let's check in with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, I want to tell you about our Rays Live postgame show. As always, we will hear from Joe Madden at his postgame press conference and get the latest on the roster move. Also, Laura McKeeman will be in the locker room as well, getting some interviews. We'll have highlights and analysis from you guys on today's game. As well, we'll update you on the first start of the year for Matt Garza of the Cubs, Scott Kazmir of the Angels, and we hope to have live and direct Wade Davis getting his head shaved for a cause. Back to you guys.
All righty. And let's hope that the Rays can rally here, and we'll have even more to talk about. B.J. Upton fouls it back. That's a strike. B.J. pops it up. It's going to carry foul out of play. 2 strikes the count. Johnson pitched an inning in the game here on Friday. He was greeted by a home run off the bat of Ben Zobrist, and then got Damon Longoria and Ramirez to end it.
Jim Johnson right there trying to see how far B.J. Upton will go. Swinging 2 high fastballs to get to 0-2, and he takes it even higher than that.
There's a liner. That's going to be fair and hit into the corner. B.J.'s on his way to second base. The A plays the carom. It's a 2-base hit for Upton. So the Rays put Upton in scoring position.
Now B.J. was deep in the hole here. Wieters wants that pitch down and away. It fades right back into the swing of B.J. Upton. Pulls his hands through nicely, keeps it short and sweet, gets it down into the corner. Ray's got an opportunity here. Just 1 out. Runner out at second base. Middle of the lineup coming up.
Elliott Johnson swings through the fastball. Strike 1. And the Indians turned a triple play in their win over the White Sox today. So they won 7-1 and a triple play on top of that. Here the Rays trying to come from behind. It's blocked by Wieters. 1-1. Zach Britton 6 innings, 1 run. Jason Birkin 1 inning, struck out the side, and now Jim Johnson. Oh, again. 2 balls and a strike. down. A little closer, but still out of the strike zone. 3-1.
Well, if you're Elliott Johnson, make sure you get your pitch if you're going to swing here in a 3-1 count. Don't let him off the hook.
Ground ball right side. Roberts up with it. The toss to first. Up goes to third, and Johnson is out. Second to first. Now Ben Zobrist will face Johnson, against whom he hit the home run here on Friday night.
He didn't waste any time either. Jumped on that first pitch from Johnson. I'm sure that's in the back of his mind.
The first pitch is a fastball away. 1-0. Fastball, that one in there. Johnson had elbow issues last year, limited to 26 games. Curveball misses down. And it's a strike. 2-2. High fly ball, center field. Jones in front of PA makes the catch. A little something extra for Johnson on that fastball. Sides retired. 4-1 Orioles. Drop this afternoon, 4-1. Baltimore leading the Rays. Be a part of all the fun and excitement of Rays baseball this year with your family, friends, and co-workers. 2011 group party areas and suites available now. Reserve your exclusive area by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or visiting RaysBaseball.com. Adam Jones will open the ninth against Rays right-hander Adam Russell. Pitch is down. Russell worked an inning on Friday night. And he gets the fastball by Jones. 1-1. Two strikes. Russell, 27 years old. And Greg, the bullpen for the Orioles, he got the save last night, although he should share that with Nick Markakis.
They had to do it like in the NFL with the sacks.
That's
half
right.
a sack.
Yeah.
Half a save.
2-2. And Markakis, if he didn't hit so well, he might be on the mound.
Yeah, you're right.
Got a pretty good arm. Two balls, two strikes. It's high. So a full count. Well, the Orioles, who over the last few years have really gotten off to slow starts, and for them to win the first two games, in fact, they got off to a 2-16 start last year. So they already have 2 wins. Hey, there's a foul ball right back into the Orioles TV booth. Two of the great guys right there. That's a great booth. Gary Thorne and Mike Flanagan, two of the really good guys in this business, and great friends. That's a good booth right there.
And I still, when I listen to Gary Thorne talk, I feel like a hockey game.
might break out. Yeah. A little tap, third base side. Rodriguez tried to barehand it, and the ball bounced away from him. That's going to be a base hit. It was a do or die barehand and throw play anyway, and Adam Jones is aboard. So a little tap down to third.
Boy, everything's got to be done perfectly on that. Adam Jones, who can run a little bit, hits a chopper. You don't have any time to try to field this with the glove. And you see that ball kick a little bit to the left, to the right of Sean Rodriguez, and it eludes his grasp.
So now here's Mark Reynolds. The fastball missed. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. You notice with that foul ball in their booth, Thorne never moved at all. And that's going to be my approach. But Flanagan didn't move either. They just, they just wait until it stopped rolling and somebody picked it up.
That ball had some hair on it coming back up in there.
Broken bat and a high foul down the left side. That's headed out of play beyond the bullpen. And Reynolds is back to get a new bat. Bull couldn't catch that one the way he did on the ball hit by Markakis in the first. I tell you, Flanagan was a fun guy to watch pitch. Boy, he could be something else. And I think he's done everything for the Orioles except manage. He's been in the front office, he's instructed. He's a great pitching coach, broadcaster.
He's worn many hats. But you're right, watching him pitch, one of those guys who can move the ball around, make you look pretty bad.
Good jump there by Jones, and the throw is kicked away, and Jones has a stolen base. Reynolds took the pitch for a ball.
Now that was awkward all the way around, although the Rays did have a chance to get Jones. Right here, Kelly Shopik spikes this ball. Yeah, if Ben Zobrist is able to hold on to that, they got him. A little skip right off the turf. Perfect. Boom. Ball squirts out.
Hey, here's something I didn't know about Flanagan. He went to UMass, and in a freshman varsity basketball game, he faced Dr. J and Rick Pitino. How about that?
Get another couple of hats.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy he's a Renaissance man.
Well-rounded.
Yeah. Full count now to Mark Reynolds. Full count. Runner at second, nobody out in the ninth. That's a fair ball headed toward the corner. Extra bases. Jones will score. Throw into second. Oh, he beat the play. Rays made it close. Zobrist put a quick tag on him, and Reynolds got in there with a double. And now it's 5-1.
Now Mark Reynolds is wearing out that left field corner. He shoots another one down in there, and Sam Fuld. See, here it is. Fastball out over the plate. Hits it hard. Wow. Gets it right by the diving Rodriguez. Sam Fuld with a quick release here. Accurate. Just able to get underneath it.
Felix PA. 1 ball, no strikes. So Adam Jones has scored his second run. Reynolds has picked up his second run, batted in. Fastball fouled by PA. It's 1-1. Twins have beaten the Blue Jays 4-3. Andy Valencia and Denard Span hit home runs in that game. Span, a Tampa product. Joe Nathan picked up a save, took 31 pitches. Well, a souvenir. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The PA. Foul out of play. And Texas in the bottom of the 7th with a 4-1 lead on Boston. Murphy, Kinsler, Napoli, and Cruz have all hit solo home runs for Texas. Count still, the ball, 2 strikes. Adam Russell, pitcher number 4 for the Rays. And another foul ball. 17,408 here on Family Fun Day this afternoon. Pitch is down. 2-2. Single and a double, and the Orioles have added a run in the 9th. Eddie Sonnenstein is listening in the Rays bullpen. Close, but a little off the plate. And the count goes to 3-2.
Adam Russell made a bid. Good fastball in right there. Didn't miss by much.
Ground ball headed to Zobrist. Sends toss to first. BA's out of there, and over to third goes Reynolds. J.J. Hardy. Rays in the bottom of the ninth due to have Manny Ramirez, Kelly Shopik, and Sean Rodriguez. Pitch is a strike with the infield in. One out here and a man at third. The strike, 0-2. Cut to miss. A little bite on the 0-2 slider. Hardy is out on strikes. Joe Madden headed to the mound here.
J.J. Hardy in protect mode. Comes up empty on the slider.
So that's it for Russell. He departs. 2 outs. He departs with a man at third and a run home. And Andy Sonnenstein will get the call. We'll be right back. Autoway, part of Auto Nation, the largest automotive retailer in the country, so we can do things big. Evan Longoria has gone on the disabled list, which has given him time to visit the barber.
Nice. Now see well, I don't know. There goes my theory about why he had that mop in the first place.
Andy Sonnenstein delivers a pitch, and Brian Roberts slips it into left. That takes care of the Orioles. They add a run on a couple hits and leave a man, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-1 Baltimore. Ninth coming. The Rays will have tomorrow off and open a series, a 2-game set against the Los Angeles Angels. We'll be with you at 6 o'clock with our coverage on Sun Sports. Jeff Neiman opposing Jared Weaver. It'll be Hellickson and Herron in the afternoon game here on Wednesday. Leading off the home half of the ninth, Manny Ramirez. The Rays need a big ninth inning. Down 5-1, and they face Josh Roop. Roop, the fourth pitcher for Baltimore.
Josh Roop had a tremendous spring training for the Baltimore Orioles. That's what allowed him to make this squad. Run the fastball up there, low to mid-90s with good sink.
John Jaso's on deck. Pitch in on Manny. That's been the story all day. And that throw is late. That'll be an error on Reynolds. Hardy made the attempt backing up, but could not get it over there in time. And so Ramirez reaches on Reynolds' error.
Yeah, continuing to pound Manny Ramirez in that late dart action. It got in. Roop got the ground ball that he wanted. You see this ball take off in, jams Manny, but Mark Reynolds just dwarfs it. He falls down on top of it. Not a good sequence of events there for Mark Reynolds.
And now John Jaso hits for shopping. The first pitch is a strike, the fastball from Roop.
Now it's nice to have these guys too when they come out of the pen. If you're an Oriole, a good sinker trying to go for that double play ball now. John Jaso wants to see a pitch elevated so he can drive it, hit it in the air.
And he lifts this one into the air, but Jones, with plenty of room, makes the catch. And that's the first out.
Yeah, that's what makes a pitcher like Josh Roop dangerous. They've got the good fastball with the velocity, but they also have that good sink, and they're always just one pitch away from picking up a double play. So as a hitter, you need to see that ball elevated. That one, Jaso just got under a little bit.
Well, here is Felipe Lopez, just added to the roster with Evan Longoria placed on the 15-day disabled list with the sore left oblique. And Lopez has joined the club. Fouls it back. Lopez active now, and they had to find a spot on the 40-man roster for him before they could put him on the 25 active list. And they have designated Mike Ekstrom for assignment. 2 strikes to count. And Lopez pinch hits here in the 9th inning for Sean Rodriguez. Zach Britton started, made his major league debut for Baltimore, and pitched well. Wade Davis, the pitcher of record right now for the Rays. Down to first. Lee will go to first, but the pitcher Roop covering. Ramirez moves into second. Lopez bounces out. And Dan Johnson will try to keep this thing going for the Rays. Ball right side. Lee will make the play unassisted, and the Rays drop this one 5-1, and they are swept by the Baltimore Orioles to start the 2011 season. For the Rays in the 9th, no runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. Britton will pick up the victory in his major league debut. Wade Davis suffers the loss. His record 0-1. 2 hours and 42 minutes the time of this game before 17,408. And this afternoon's Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment. For that, we go back to the first inning with Nick Markakis at the plate. Markakis hits this fly ball foul down the left side as Sam Fuld goes into the bullpen, trips over the mound, and manages to still come up with the catch and come out of the bullpen throwing. So he records the out. But as it turns out, the Orioles are winners 5-1 over the Rays. The Rays will take tomorrow off and await the arrival of the Angels. Now for Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, I'm Dwayne Statz. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. We'll be with you Tuesday. Our coverage begins at 6 when the Rays take on the Angels. Coming up next, Rays Live, the postgame, and we will see you there.